and welcome to the eFresh.com Flowers, Plants, and Bulbs news. Today is the 6th of October. My name is Kim and these are this week's headlines. Alert about nasty spotted knapweed. New film seeks answer of vanishing bees. Orchid plantation becomes tourist mecca. Botanic garden opens research facility. Samal plans eco-park with landfill. The Minnesota Department of Agriculture is alerting farmers and other landowners about spotted knapweed, a nasty weed that is showing up with increasing frequency in parts of Minnesota. According to MDA Plant Protection Director Geir Friso, spotted knapweed is an aggressive, fast-growing weed that can displace beneficial plants. It is considered a threat to agriculture and the environment. He said that when it becomes established in an area, it crowds out forage plants and other desirable vegetation. This leads to loss of pasture productivity, erosion problems, and degradation of wildlife habitat. Fortunately, MDA has some of its top agents on the case: seedhead weevils and root weevils. These insects are natural enemies of knapweed and two of the most effective biocontrol agents in the fight against the invasive weed. Private landowners can discuss management options with a county agricultural inspector and can get details on spotted knapweed online. A new documentary seeks to unravel the mystery of why billions of honeybees have been disappearing from hives across the United States. It concludes that the chief suspect is pesticides. The film Vanishing of the Bees, which has limited theatrical release in Britain from next week, follows the fate of a group of U.S. beekeepers hit by colony collapse disorder. This first struck in 2004 and made U.S. headlines 3 years later. Countless bees would suddenly vanish, leaving an empty hive but few bodies. And the phenomenon has variously been linked to mites, disease, genetically modified crops, mobile phones, and, in the words of one beekeeper, PPB, or piss-poor beekeeping. While the cause has yet to be established, the film suggests there is a link to pesticides, and particularly those applied to seeds as opposed to sprayed on existing plants. The Taiwan orchid plantation is poised to become a mecca for tourists after being transformed into a leisure and tourism park. The park, named the World for Orchid Exploration, will be open to professional exhibitors and orchid breeders and growers, as well as tourists. The park has been developed under a Rehabilitate, Operate, Transfer contract that will run for 12 years from 2009, said Cheng Jung-ji, Deputy Director of the Taiwan County Agricultural Affairs Department. The joint venture will allow the Taiwan orchid plantation to save millions of dollars a year in maintenance costs and revive open spaces that have been lying idle, said Chang. Visitors can also view entries in an orchid design competition, part of a series of activities to mark the transformation of the plantation into a leisure and tourism park. With an array of lush trees and plants, the Daniel F. and Ada L. Rice Plant Conservation Science Center finally opened to the public at the Chicago Botanic Garden last week in Glencoe, Illinois. The 38,000 square foot building will serve as a laboratory and research facility for the garden's staff of 31 full-time scientists and research assistants. Accompanying these workers are interns, graduate students, research associates, collaborators, and 200 botanists. Growth chambers allow scientists to control the amount of light, air, temperature, and carbon dioxide plants receive. The upkeep of the gardens is left to the horticulturists, who are in charge of watering the plants, digging them up, and making sure they have enough sunlight. The city of Samal, famous for its white sand and powdery beaches, plans to build a multi-million peso eco-park in an 11-hectare property that would also host the island's very first sanitary landfill. The plan is to build both the landfill and the eco-park amid lush trees and a picturesque landscape. Samal City Administrator Clito B. Gales Jr. said in an interview that they can start this next year. He stated that hopefully they can be exempted from the election ban. The island, which used to have controlled dumping in a 2-hectare property that has since been abandoned, sought assistance from the USAID funded EcoGov 2 program for the design of the sanitary landfill. EcoGov is also helping the local government prepare its environmental impact assessment and environmental compliance certificate for the landfill. Thank you for watching the eFresh.com Flowers, Plants, and Bulbs news. See you next time.